which is the border town. I think it's in front of Mission County in Texas, it's Reynosa. I got busted there with a big load of weed, you know. But by that, this is I start. You know, this is supposed to be autobiographical works, brother. But I started with the escape from the prison because it's sort of spectacular, right? And so it starts over here when we have just passed the countdown in prison, right? And immediately after the countdown, it was at 5 o'clock in the afternoon. We immediately go into this was Reynosa. It was the old prison in Reynosa. It was an old building, and where the administration and then all the prisoners, but not rich prisoners, had their beds or whatever in that building. But then there was like a big patio outside, and in that patio they had made a bunch of rooms and like little houses, and that's where all the prisoners that had some money lived outside in this. But it was all surrounded by big walls and everything. Right?
They had the Hilton prison.
They had that was the VIP, very important personality, yeah. And so here I show where we go into the tunnel, and it was like I told you, very small, and it was full of water. It had been raining in Reynosa at that time, and it drained inside. So it was like the tunnel was like this size, but let's say this. And half of it was full of water, and only a little bit traveled. So you had to go crawling with your head outside so we could breathe, you know. But the tunnel was like maybe twice the distance from here where we're standing to the other side.
Okay.
Yeah, twice that distance. And it went from we started making it naturally from outside the prison to inside, huh? And there was this guy, another prisoner, who had been captured with weed, I told you 17 truckloads of weed. And his name was Marcelino. And he came from a place in Mexico that has a lot of mining industry. So we hired an expert from the tunnels, mining tunnels and everything, and that was the guy that was made the tunnel from outside to inside. It took like 3 or 4 months.
Now, was the tunnel lined with wood, or is it just
No,
dirt?
nothing. It was just dirt. Just dirt.
Okay.
Just like I said, nothing like what Chapo had. He had a big thing. So the first thing we did is that we rented a house outside the prison. You know?
Started there.
Yeah,
down
started
through the
there,
floors
and we made calculated by counting by steps and everything, and we said that the tunnel was going to come to the room of another prisoner that was from Guadalajara.
Okay.
And he used to come to buy cocaine in Guatemala. So I knew him from before, when I met him over in Mexico at that time. And so we used to sit by the wall in the prison. This Dutch guy that I told you about, that was Guatemalan Dutch guy. And so if we could hear where the people were working underneath. So then by the time that we knew that they had already passed the wall downstairs, because when they got to the wall, it was, they got to the foundations of the wall, So they had to go in deeper, and then start coming out. But then we were sitting there, and then we started hearing, and instead of hearing, where we sat right in the spot where the tunnel had, and we would make sounds outside.
Just to camouflage the noise.
To guide the guys that were digging from outside. But then we realized that we said, "Oh no, he's coming like 1 meter or 1.5 meters out of route." So finally, the day came that the tunnel had to reach this place where we were, and then we're waiting there at 12 o'clock at night in the room where it was supposed to come, and then we go boom, 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 and knock like that, pass, 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 and then we hear boom, 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 but on the room beside the one we were saying, ah, shit, and we went out. And there was the 2 old guys, were the owners of the room right beside. They were old narcs. They had been heavy narcs already, but they were like 60 years old, and one had been already like 20 years in prison and was almost ready to come out, and another was this rich guy. And when we put our head into their room, they were like that, staring to the floor, like saying, "What the fuck is happening downstairs?" You know? And we said, "Oh shit!" And then we immediately went to talk to them and said, "Hey, listen, you guys, we have something working over there, but you can't speak and say anything about this." And they were really nervous. And this guy said, "No, we don't want any problems." So from that moment on, I was the guy in charge of the thing, and we never left the watching these guys to make sure that they were not going to go and
rat you out
and finger us out. So next day, in the morning, the guy comes out of the room and walks out of the room and goes directly to the office, to the administration's office, and I said, "Oh God, he's cut." And I'm behind the guy, walking behind the guy, and then I go near. I said, "Remember that you speak to a dead man, you know." And he goes into the office, and I'm right behind him, and I'm sure he was going to go inform, you know. And then he's like sweating y todo. And, ¿qué tal? Encantado de verte. Mucho gusto verte. He's saying goodbye there now. So I'm right, you know, so make sure that he doesn't speak out and tell anything, man. And so he's like saying, but maybe saying, "Oh God, I'm sure that if I speak out, this guy's going to kill me right now, because I have this big knife that we make out of construction
rebarb."
Yeah, and then we make a big una punta, so they're like this long, but really ends up like with a big una punta, very thing. I have it right beside me there, so at the end he doesn't say anything, and he just walks back, you know. So next day is visit day, and this Marcelino had his room in the other side of the prison. I said, "Listen, guys, so there's no problem. I'm going to give you $10,000 and you move to my room, which is much bigger and has a toilet inside, and we're going to move to this room." And then we got to the head to the prisoner, that was the boss of the prisoners, and said, "Hey, we're going to make a business. I had a problem with my neighbor over here, so I have to move," because it was difficult to make him believe why this guy that had a big, nice room wanted to move to a little dumpy room.
Okay.
But they said, "No, the other guy got his paid off also," and said, "Okay, do it." So next day, Sunday, is visit day. So there's a lot of people listening, and with all the people, there's noise and there's music in the prison. So we start breaking, open up the concrete. This is pure concrete, right? So we're and everything, and also then we're watching so that the authorities don't. And finally, boom! It opens up to the tunnel, right? And the guy that's making the tunnel just goes over and hands me up a lantern, a flashlight,
okay,
which is what really helped. because I think that if we didn't have the flashlight, maybe we would have gone in. It was just like really scary because the tunnel was first. We had to go in like 3 meters in down.
So about 9 or 10 feet then.
Yes, but yes, like from that to like over here.
Okay.
But it's like we have to go head first, like more or less like the drawing here is. It's
So just
a
a-
little like that until we get to the bottom part, and then start crawling out, and it comes out to this house. And when we got to there, I was naked completely because I went in without any clothes, only like an underwear. But it was so tight, you know, that the underwear stayed in the root. And so the guys that were the 2 first guys that appeared into the house. The house had like, it was also like, let's say like from where I'm standing to have that. And there was like 4 bedrooms in a row in the room, but every room is just full of dirt. And we had bags like that where the lemons are, but not mesh, you know, costales, and they were all full of earth. Yeah? But there's no space for anything. It's just full of tierra, which is another thing that makes me have doubts about Chapo's escape, you know, because his tunnel was like 2 or like 3 kilometers distance, like a mile and a half. See, so where it comes out, there's no dirt in the film, you know, in Chapo's escape. And I made the calculation that ¿Qué tal, Nefta? ¿Cómo estás? That he would have needed at least 500 truckloads to take the dirt away. And then people would have noticed the trucks coming, because remember that Chapo went to an end, but it was still like in the jail compound where all this happened, you know. So that makes me doubt about the reality of what happened over there. ¿Se van ahí? Vaya, pues, Nefta, encantado de verte, ¿oíste?
Well, now, George, in the movie, The Great Escape, I think it was the great...
Nefta, ya sabes que siempre te agradezco tu apoyo con esa cosa, sí, pues.
Good luck.
Sí, pues.
Oh, gracias.
Buen provecho.
Va,
Órale,
sí
mi
estuvo
querido.
bien todo, ¿va? Vaya, que Dios te bendiga, pues muchas gracias, Nefta. Nos vemos, pues nos vemos. I remember in The Great Escape, they used to
Put
take it in the pocket.
dirt in the
dirt,
bags
yes.
and down their pant legs
Yeah.
and just drop it a little at a time while they're out walking around.
Yeah,
right?
but
So-
that was like a big prison compound, like very, so that the dirt was not really noticeable
Right.
when they were
Right.
going. But this here is, the whole prison was also like 1 square block from inside. And another, so when I got there, a prisoner had given me $100, and that was the only money I had. But at like 4:45, before the lista came, the countdown came, he called me. This was a heavy narc that was in prison, but he was going free 2 days afterwards. And he tells me that they had all their places where they bought marijuana in Mexico had gotten busted, and he needed a new place to buy dope, right? And then he said, "So you're escaping today?" Yes. And he said, "Well, I introduce you to this guy. This guy is a cop from Reynosa, but he's coming to ask me for a loan, that he wants to make his house is 1 story, and he wants to make it 3 stories high." So I'm telling him that if he helps you, once you're outside, to get away from Reynosa, that I will give him the loan that he's asking for. And you're gonna pay me this money that he's giving me if when you escape, you go to Veracruz and meet my other brothers in Veracruz, They have a big whorehouse in a place, not Veracruz, the city.